Hi everyone. So in my last video, I said that I wanted to do the Harry Potter book tag. So that is what I'm doing today. I have a list of the questions in front of me. So let's get into them. The first question is, what is your favorite book? So I actually answered this one already in my last video in my favorite books of all time. But if you haven't seen that, then you can still be surprised. I will grab my favorite book now. My favorite book of the entire series is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I love this one the most. It's so hard to rank them. I mean, I really see them all as one long story, and I love all of the books, even my least favorite one, which I think is one of the questions. Even the least favorite book, it's still a Harry Potter book, and I love them all. But this one would have to be my favorite just because I loved the earlier ones because they still had that childhood magic feel to them. But I really loved when the series kind of took a darker, more adult turn, which I would say happened at the end of the fourth book. And so I love those later ones, and this is one of the later ones, and it's my favorite of the later ones just because there's so much stuff in here about Tom Riddle's history. And I think out of all the backstories that we get, Tom Riddle's family, that whole story is just very, very interesting to me. A lot of great Dumbledore stuff in here, so this is definitely my favorite of the entire series. The next question is fave movie. So I think my favorite movie would be Chamber of Secrets, and that's kind of interesting because Chamber of Secrets is kind of low on my list if I were to have to rank the books, but I don't know, I just think that movie is so well done. I think in the earlier movies it was easier for them to stick to the plot of the books and keep everything in there, and so I think that it kind of had the full story in the second movie just as it had the full story in the first one. But I just think they handled the whole mystery element of the second book really well in the second movie, and I loved the appearance of Tom Riddle in the second movie. So yeah, the second one still has all of that childhood innocence and magic to it, but it has a really good mystery to it as well, and I just think it translated really well into a movie. So the third question is least favorite book. Let me grab it. So like I said earlier, I love all of the books, of course, because they're all Harry Potter books, but if I had to say my least favorite book, it would be Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. So I know this is a kind of controversial view, but also I feel like this book is kind of polarizing. Like, I think it's either people's favorite book of the series or their least favorite book. I've seen that a lot. So for me, it's my least favorite book. And like I said, I think that the series took a darker turn at the end of the fourth book, and I was anticipating that as I was reading the series. And so then when I got to the fifth book and it kind of was more adult and darker, and I wasn't enjoying this one that much, I kind of got nervous that I wasn't gonna like the second half of the series. But then, I read The Half-Blood Prince and loved it, so then I was a little relieved. But I think there is a lot of expanding of the wizarding world in here, which is great and necessary. You need all of that to go on to the sixth and seventh book, and I think it's necessary, but it just wasn't as fun or compelling to me as the other books. And Dolores Umbridge, such a great villain because you hate her so much, and that was like, while I was reading this, I just could not stand her, which means that she was written really well. But yeah, this is definitely my least favorite of the entire series. Next question is, which part of the books or movies made you cry? So I don't think that I cried at any part of the movies. I said this in my last video, but I'm very moved by books, but I don't often like cry or laugh out loud or anything while I'm reading. There are a few exceptions to that, and one of the exceptions is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So I cried at the part where Harry is about to go into the forest and all of the people who he has loved but who have died come back, and they're kind of giving him courage to go into the forest, and um, he's asking them to stay by his side. And there was something so powerful about that scene to me, just him being alone at the edge of this dark forest, but him feeling like he was surrounded by the people who loved him but were no longer with him in the physical world. I just thought it was beautiful and it made me cry. The next question is, if you could hook up with any of the characters, which one would you hook up with? Which I feel like is such a weird question. I wouldn't hook up with any of them because they're fictional characters, and for most of the series, many of them are minors. So moving on. The next question is, who is your favorite character? So, I mean, I feel like the characters are what make the Harry Potter series, so this is a really difficult question. If I had to choose, it would have to be a tie, and my two favorite characters are Albus Dumbledore and Hermione Granger. I love them both. I love Albus Dumbledore because he has so many moments of wisdom for Harry, but at the same time he is super weird. So I love that, the fact that he's like so intelligent, but he also is just a very lighthearted, whimsical character, and I think that he drives a lot of the story, and I think that he became even more of an interesting character when you kind of got the backstory of him that made Harry question his view of Dumbledore. And yeah, he fascinates me. I love Dumbledore. And Hermione, I mean, I feel like she's a lot of people's favorite character, but I just see a lot of myself in her, in the books especially. I don't remember where I read about this, or if I read about it or saw a talk or something, but I remember seeing something about how, I think it was about female representation in media, and it was talking about how either women are not represented well in media, and of course you could think of the many ways that that would manifest itself. So either they're not represented well, or they go the extreme opposite and they are represented as perfect. And one of the examples that was used was how when Hermione was taken from the page to the screen, she kind of went through that perfecting process, and she was, you know, Emma Watson was cast a player, and she's obviously a beautiful girl, and all of the things that are in the books about her being bossy and annoying and preoccupied with school, a lot of that was taken out of her character for the movie, so that she was this perfect person who was smart and courageous and beautiful and likable. But I think that the Hermione in the books, I just really relate to her because she's very bookish and into school, and she's very, very smart and loyal, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't have her faults. And a lot of times the other characters struggle with her being a know-it-all, and I just think she is such a great character, such a great female character, and I love her. The next question is, what would your Patronus be? I took the Patronus test on Pottermore, and I don't even remember. I got some ridiculous thing, like, I don't remember even what it was. It was like a platypus. I don't know. But I think my Patronus would be a seahorse, or a koala bear, or a seahorse. Wouldn't that be so cute? I think so. So the next one is, what house would you be? And without a doubt, I am a Ravenclaw. I have taken the tests online a million times. And I'm talking like not just the Pottermore one on pottermore.com, but the one that you can find where it takes all the questions possible and puts them into one quiz. And it's supposed to be the most accurate one. I can link it down below. I've taken that many times over the years, and every time I take it, I get Ravenclaw. I've taken other ones and I get Ravenclaw. So I am definitely a Ravenclaw through and through. If I could meet anyone in the cast of Harry Potter, who would it be? Definitely Emma Watson. I just love her. I think she is so smart. I love how she gets involved politically, and to me, her films that she has chosen to do, I just love almost all of them. I mean, of course, Harry Potter, Perks of Being a Wallflower, one of my favorite movies ever, The Bling Ring, the Beauty and the Beast remake. I mean, they are all just... So I would definitely want to meet Emma Watson. The next one is, have I played any of the video games? No. If I were on the Quidditch team, which position would I play? I wouldn't be on the Quidditch team because I am not athletically inclined. I'll say that. Was I happy with the ending? I'm guessing that this refers to like the 19 years later. I was happy with it. Well, I wasn't happy with it, but I was okay with it. Like, I know some people did not like it whatsoever. I was okay with it. I, at the time, understood why J.K. Rowling wanted to wrap everything up and kind of give the readers the happily ever after and say what everyone grew up to do for jobs and who they ended up marrying and all of that. I think there is some satisfaction in that for the readers, which I understood until she started expanding the story and we got Cursed Child and stuff. Then I kind of felt like, well, if you were ever going to continue the story, then there was no need to wrap it up like that. And I would have been fine without the 19 years later. I am totally fine with a book ending or a series ending on a somewhat uncertain note, because of course this is just a chunk of their lives and their lives will go on. You can't know everything forever and everything that happens to them and their children, and you know, I would have been okay without things being wrapped up, but I'm not mad about it. I am okay with the 19 years later ending. What does Harry Potter mean to you? It means a lot to me. I think, like with many others, Harry Potter is a source of comfort to me. I just find a lot of comfort in returning to the books and returning to the movies. And I don't know necessarily why that is. I think maybe it's all of the characters who are kind and courageous and smart. I just think there is a lot of heart in the characters. I think that the setting, honestly, is a big part of it. I just think that idea of going away to a castle where there are big fireplaces and common rooms and great feasts and, you know, beautiful landscapes, I think there's something comforting in that. I don't know, I would say that Harry Potter, what it means to me is that it is a source of comfort, and I love this series very much. I will one day make my Harry Potter collection video. I would love to do that because I have a lot of stuff. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and if you love Harry Potter, feel free to comment down below with what your favorite book, favorite character, answers to any of these questions. I would love to read through that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.